after playing a game of chicken with their cars. I'm Jenny Hoff. I'll tell you how it happened and how often it happens.
Thieves breaking into your car and stealing it. It's happening all over Austin, but in some areas, it's happening most. I'm Sally Hernandez. I'll show you how, where, and why.
Illegal immigration debate. Hear how President Bush's new plan announced tonight is playing here in Central Texas.
More storm damage yesterday, but a significant change in the weather pattern is underway. I'll tell you about it.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 10.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, a community is mourning 4 teens who died in a way that officers say is more common than you think.
Those teenagers were killed in San Saba County while playing a game of chicken with their cars. KXAN's Jenny Hoff is live in Central Austin with a new warning for teenagers and parents.
Robert, when your kid gets their license, it could be the most important conversation you have. Just how serious driving a car is. As you can see with the number of teen deaths we've had here just in the past few weeks. Just because you pass the test doesn't mean you know how to play by the rules.
Hey, check it out, dude. Let's play a little chicken with the farmer here.
We see it all the time on film. Teens messing around in their cars, playing games like drag racing and chicken.
That was great! That was great!
Driving on the other side of the road or swinging or doing stuff like that or racing the whole lot.
Quincy Dukes is a high school student who says he sees his friends all the time drag racing, swerving, driving like maniacs, simply because there's nothing better to do. And troopers say that is the #1 cause of teen deaths in cars: speeding, inattention, fooling around.
Teens watch TV movies, and what do they do in the TV movies? They play chicken, the cars veer off from each other, and everybody's fine.
But anyone who went to the heartbreaking funeral in San Saba can tell you that's not always how it happens.
We all think we're gonna all live together and grow old, and it's something that just doesn't come across your mind. It's a surprise to everybody.
Friday afternoon, 5 teens played a game of chicken, but instead of swerving to the side, they crashed head on. 4 of the kids dead in an instant, the other left with serious injuries. A community left to ask why.
Is your life worth 5 minutes of a game? I mean, neither one of those 4 teens are going to go to college, are going to have a family, or even going to grow up.
Now, Trooper Barrera says the other big problem with teens is speeding. She says if you get in a crash going 70 miles per hour, your chances of surviving that crash is 50%. But she says as a parent, you can do something. Set a good example. Reporting live from Central Austin, Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Well, President Bush addressed the nation from the Oval Office tonight to talk about the hot-button issue of immigration reform and what to do about the immigrants pouring over the border and the millions who are already here illegally.
It is neither wise nor realistic to round up millions of people, many with deep roots in the United States, and send them across the border. There is a rational middle ground between granting an automatic path to citizenship for every illegal immigrant and a program of mass deportation.
The president announced steps to beef up border security, and more on that in a moment. He also proposed implementing a guest worker program that would give some immigrants a way to achieve citizenship. Well, the immigration debate affects all of us, and many Central Texans were glued to their television sets to watch the president's address tonight. KXAN's RJ Da Silva joins us live from the only television news bureau in Williamson County with new reaction. RJ?
Yeah, Michelle, the president talked about a border security measure we may see very soon, and that is having the National Guard increase its presence along the Mexican border here in Texas and other states to the west.
I've asked for a few minutes of your time to discuss a matter of national importance.
At the Georgetown restaurant, Garcia's 2, manager Brenda Boteo listened to the president's speech, interested in the newest round on the illegal immigration ruckus, although some of it sounded familiar.
They had already said they would fine employers. This happened, I don't know how many years ago, but there it came up where employers will now be fined.
For border security, the president talked about immediate steps of getting 6,000 National Guard soldiers to the U.S.-Mexican border. In a one-year deployment, they would help the Border Patrol in tasks like surveillance and building fences, but the Guard would not arrest illegal immigrants.
And I think it's better to bring the National Guard back here to be what they're supposed to be, National Guard, and not sending them all over to Iraq. But I'm not sure that this is the solution to the problem of too many people coming in and living off of our services for free.
One Army reservist told us this new mission has a lot of people watching closely.
One of the big things is just really how it's going to be structured and what ultimately is going to be the change in the role of the Guard and Reserve. If you have people that signed up or agreed to be part-time citizen soldiers, and even with the war on terror going on, there's still some level of predictability. This really changes that potentially.
And in his speech, the president said there are enough National Guard soldiers to fight overseas, respond to natural disasters here in the U.S., and take on new responsibilities like increased border security. Here in Texas, there are about 20,000 men and women who serve in the Army and Air National Guard, 4,000 of them serving overseas right now. Michelle, Robert.
All right, RJ. Well, we'd love to hear your reaction till tonight on KXAN.com. We're asking, will President Bush's border enforcement proposal reduce illegal immigration? Just log on and give us your answer. And if you'd like to tell us more or give more of your opinion, we want your feedback for KXAN Firstcast. Just email us at news36@kxan.com or give us a call at 703-5336. Make sure to tell us your name and where you live.
Well, after 4 special sessions on school finance in the past 3 years, we have something new to report tonight. This one ends in success. Before adjourning for good late today, Texas lawmakers sent the final pieces of a massive tax overhaul to Governor Rick Perry's desk. The 5-part plan lowers property tax rates by 1/3 over the next 2 years. It pays for those tax cuts by raising taxes on cigarettes $1 per pack, closing loopholes in the used car sales tax, and reforming the state business tax. The plan also includes teacher pay raises and education reforms.
This is a delicately crafted compromise, and nobody got everything that they wanted in it. But people will be better off because their property taxes will be lower.
The state is under court order to fix the school finance tax system by June 1st. Governor Perry has 20 days from the end of the session today to sign the bills into law. In Houston, it is the Enron trial endgame. Prosecutors today made their closing arguments in the trial of Enron founder Kenneth Lay and former CEO Jeffrey Skilling. It is the biggest corporate fraud case in American history. A prosecutor told jurors today that Lay and Skilling used lies and hocus pocus to cover up massive fraud. Closing arguments from the defense are coming up tomorrow.
University of Texas dropout Michael Dell and his wife Susan today announced a $50 million gift to UT. A big chunk of the money will go to build the Dell Pediatric Research Institute, expected to open by 2009. Michael Dell founded his company when he was a UT student. He dropped out of school and went on to lead what's become the world's largest personal computer maker.
All right, weather's coming up here. We are cleaning up still in Williamson County and parts of eastern Burnett County. Storm damage from yesterday reported as a tornado there just outside of Briggs, right on the Williamson and Burnett County line. That building you saw right there had just been completed a day earlier, and just about a half mile to the east over, not too far from Andice, and that building right there is one actually that was just completed, not too far from Andice and Florence. You can see the damage that occurred yesterday. Now, a storm survey team went in there, Jeff Draper and his crew, and said they really didn't find any evidence of a tornado. In fact, take a look. Here was the damage, here was some damage, here was some damage, and these green arrows all representing where they found the damage spread. In other words, all one direction. It's really a classic microburst and probably not a tornado. National Weather Service still investigating it, so we'll see what happens. Well, a change is coming in the weather pattern that I think you're going to like, and it's coming up. Bless you.
Caught on tape and caught in the act, Central Texas car thieves, where they're striking most often, and how you can make sure you're not the next victim. Don't miss tonight's KXAN Crime Trackers investigation.
And the Austin Apprentice will take you to tonight's viewing party where everybody waited to see if Donald Trump told our local reality star, "You're fired." And we thank you for watching KXAN NBC Austin.
You know, every month at least 300 cars are stolen right here in Austin.
Get this, so far there have been 829 car thefts this year alone in Austin, and tonight we're showing you where you are most likely to have your car ripped off. KXAN Sally Hernandez investigates.
It's a crime that leaves you confused, shocked, helpless, and screaming mad, all at the same time. You're not in physical pain, but boy, does it hurt. Someone stole your car. It happens about 7 times a day all over Austin. Right now, your car, truck, or SUV could be parked in a hot spot for auto thefts. We're going to show you those hot spots and the latest way police are busting thieves red-handed. This is an investigation that will have you looking outside for your car as we take an inside look at car thefts.
I was getting ready for work and I walked out and it wasn't in my designated parking spot. The window was gone.
Elise De La Pena is a college student who lives in a nice part of town. She's studying to become a teacher, and boy, does she learn a lesson the hard way. She woke up one morning and didn't see her car where she left it.
I had no idea. I was so confused. I walked back up to my apartment, closed the door, stood there for a minute.
A few days later, police found Elise's car parked across town, wrecked and stripped of the CD player. They did leave something.
They left all their belongings in the car, a pair of jeans, the baseball bat, a 7-Up Big Gulp Slurpee.
A baseball bat. That's how the thieves broke into Elise's car. That's how they broke in, taking it for a joyride, then dropping it off on Riverside Drive. The city of Austin is so concerned about car thefts, they put a map together to help people like Elise De La Pena. Every month, they update this car theft map with the latest information. Taking a look at the map, you could see 13 cars were gone in one day back in March. It's a problem from Lakeshore to Old Torf. But thieves are really hitting East Riverside and the Pleasant Valley area hard. That's where Alan Stewart was working one afternoon when he got a first-hand look at criminals in action.
There was 4 guys got out of looked like a blue Toyota car, and it was real fast. It was like 20 seconds. And they tried to break into this car to steal the car. They tried to break the window with their hand, and they had a tool. It looked like one guy had a tool.
The car alarm went off. The thieves took off. Stewart was stunned.
It made me open up my eyes to realize that it could happen to any of us anytime.
And anywhere. Here are the other problem areas for car thefts. Rutland Drive to West Runberg along Metric Boulevard, the North Lamar Peyton Gin area, East Canning Lane and West North Loop Boulevard, and the St. John's neighborhood by Webb Middle School near I-35. So what's being done to stop the problem? This.
Let's go crash this thing.
Police departments across the country are using bait cars to nab thieves on camera. The Austin Police Department has several bait cars, but we don't want to show you and the thieves what those cars look like. We can show you this video from baitcars.com. That's a website several law enforcement agencies put together to show just how stupid some of these criminals can be.
Don't touch your hands on anything. Your hands on nothing, okay? Tell me this right now. Hands on nothing, man. That's what we do, man. No, man, I don't want to get busted with this. We just stole this vehicle, dude.
All bait cars have a kill switch. Once it's stolen, police move in.
Dude, don't be a cop. Pray it's not a cop. Pray. Just pray. Pray.
No matter how hard they pray, the car is stopped and police make the arrest. Austin police say their bait cars are working well, too.
Yes, ma'am, we got a few bait cars out there in which we put them in areas where there's a lot of cars stolen and try to get it stolen.
But police say the biggest deterrent is you. Lock your doors, park in well-lit areas, and never leave your car running. And remember the car theft map?
Because I didn't think it would happen to me.
To keep it from happening to you.
So protect what you got and look out, watch your back.
You're so busted. You're so busted.
Sally Hernandez, KXAN, NBC Austin.
They're busted, and you can take a closer look at APD's car theft map on our website, KXAN.com.
And now, Jim Spencer with your first warning weather forecast.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about tonight, from floods to volcanoes, believe it or not. Let's get right to it. At 6 o'clock, we had some showers on the radar. More sprinkles, really, than anything else, and they weren't here in the metro area. We just saw partly cloudy skies through most of the afternoon, but at sunset, off in the distance, you could see some of the thicker clouds that produced a few sprinkles up in the northern hill country. Nothing at all to show you on live Doppler radar at this hour. We are partly cloudy in the city, and 68. Feels good out there tonight. Humidity's not bad, 45, 60%. 63 degrees out at ABIA under a partly cloudy sky. Real light wind here in town, and a north breeze about 10 miles per hour out at our airport. 80 and 81 the highs today. Nice to be below normal. We spent so much of April in the 90s, and here in May we're enjoying some typical spring weather for a change, and some nice rain so far this month. Middle 60s morning lows. They were very close to the average. Mole count high today. Everything else, trees and some grass pollen at low levels. Temperatures around the area tonight, wonderful. 64 in Giddings, 61 degrees in Georgetown, 61 degrees out in Llano. If you're cold-natured, you might want to lay out a sweater or light jacket to take with you first thing in the morning, because it'll be a little bit on the chilly side, actually. And the good news is, if you like this low humidity, look at these winds. They continue to blow out of the north tomorrow. They continue to blow out of the north on Wednesday, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. That closes off the Gulf of Mexico. That means our humidity levels really won't be climbing very much, so the cool mornings will continue, but then that dry air really warms up in the afternoon. We'll be back up into the 80s each of the next several days, and maybe 90 by week's end. 69 in Dallas, 71 in Houston right now. Amarillo looking good at 59. 76 down in Corpus Christi. Big thunderstorms last night, damage in Corpus Christi, flooded cars in Laredo, and windshields knocked out by the same storms that moved through our area. Fortunately, they weren't nearly as bad here, except up in Williamson County, as elsewhere. All those gone down into the Gulf of Mexico. There's that little next disturbance riding the northwest flow, but it is not bringing us precipitation of any significance. Man, has it been raining in the northeast. That's that storm we told you about last week that was going to park out here for about 10 days. It's still raining tonight. Check out the flooding going on in New England at the present time. Many places in Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, with a foot of rain over the last 5 days. In Boston, second wettest May in history, and it's only the middle of the month out there. And volcanoes erupting. Check this out. In Indonesia, this is Mount Merapi. Violent eruption today. They had been predicting it for days now. Volcanic gas, rocks, lava flowing 2.5 miles down the mountainside. 1,300 people were killed by this volcano way back in 1930. Well, our flow pattern has changed such that we are not expecting as much stormy weather this next 2 weeks of May as we saw the first 2 weeks. In fact, the 14-day outlook indicates we may not see much rain at all, and much warmer weather between now and Memorial Day. How about that? That's the end of the month. 50s, nice tonight. Tomorrow, low to mid-80s, a little warm. 57 in the city, beautiful in the morning. And a little cooler than that in the rural areas, of course, than about 84 tomorrow afternoon. 86 on Wednesday. There, we're back to 90 by Friday, and low 90s Saturday, Sunday. So no rain in the 7-day forecast, and little in the 14-day outlook.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Well, now to your favorite show, Robert. Austin's Apprentice contestant survived another night with Donald Trump. The Donald told someone else, "You're fired." And tonight she had this reaction for KXAN.
It's been really humbling to know that all my friends and family really are confident that I'm going to do really well on the show, and they've been so supportive. And you know, I just take it one day at a time. I'm surprised that I'm on now. I mean, there's 5 of us left, and I'm honored to be here today, still standing.
Austin attorney Roxanne Wilson watched with everyone else at tonight's viewing party at the 219 West Bar in downtown Austin. Will she survive? Oh, that was hard to say. Will she survive another week? You'll have to tune in next week right here on KXAN to find out.
We're pulling for you, Roxanne. And Barry Bonds' chase of Babe Ruth moved into Houston tonight. We'll see if the hit the number 714 when Roger Wallace joins us, coming up next.
Roger Wallace with your KXAN NBC Austin Sports.
Good evening. UT football player Ramon Taylor was charged with felony possession of marijuana today in Belton, posted $5,000 bond, and was coming back to Austin to take a final exam. Taylor was arrested early Sunday morning after he called 911 saying a window in his car had been broken out at a party he attended. Police eventually searched Taylor's car, allegedly found a backpack containing several pounds of marijuana. Taylor's attorney, Buck Harris from Killeen, says the pot was not his client's. Taylor had not been a part of any team functions during this semester, including spring practice, in order to focus on academics. He may or may not be reinstated to the team, regardless of what happens with this latest situation with the law. Texas baseball team continues to climb the polls. They're up to number 3 in the collegiate baseball poll after not only sweeping Dallas Baptist, but winning the Big 12 regular season title thanks to Baylor's third straight win over Nebraska yesterday. All right, the circus moves to Houston. Barry Bonds' quest for 714. Of course, a big asterisk in the crowd. Taylor Buchholz in Round Rock last year, all the cameras. Bonds was 4 for 28 since his last home run, first at bat, and Buchholz wonks him. Problem for Taylor is he struggled with everyone but Barry Bonds. He's already down 3-0 when Bonds actually gets a pretty good hack on one, a double over Jason Lane's head. Bonds does not homer, does get a base hit, but the Giants romp the Astros 10-1. They'll play again tomorrow. UT basketball player Mike Williams reportedly ready to transfer after 2 seasons with the Horns. There are reports that Louisville, Cincinnati, and Birmingham Southern in his home state of Alabama are the favorites. Williams figured to be a lock to start. He averaged just under 13 minutes per game last year. Did have a big one in the NCAA tournament, hitting 4 for 4 against West Virginia. Now, if Texas loses P.J. Tucker and Daniel Gibson to the NBA, A.J. Abrams would be the only returning player who averaged more than 10 minutes per game if Williams does, in fact, transfer. Now, the Horns have signed a top-rated recruiting class, and they could be on the hook for 6'9" Damian Jones. He was committed to OU, released from his scholarship when Kelvin Sampson moved to Indiana, and he reportedly is interested in Texas and Texas A&M. Well, the 14th annual high school football banquet of the Greater Austin chapter of the National Football Foundation. Outstanding scholar football players from all 42 area schools who had at least a 3.0 GPA were recognized. R.C. Slocum, former head coach at A&M, the keynote speaker, and believe it or not, did not have a problem with the Longhorns winning a national title.
For them, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the state of Texas. You know, it may sound strange because of my background with A&M, but I've always felt like, and I always said, that I look forward to the day when we could bring the national championship back to the state of Texas and line up every year and have A&M and Texas in the top 10 playing for it, much like Florida State and Florida did for so many years. And if we keep these Texas kids here, we can do that.
RC working for the president. Spurs up by 1. They have never won a playoff series down 2-1. That was our question in the break. We'll see if they do it this week.
We will.
Thank you very much, and we'll be right back.
Quietest weather we've seen this May. Nice mornings, warm afternoons.
We'll take it, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hasta mañana.